Islam.
Like I had that in my last. I was seeing someone who was quite heavily Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of became
You don't
like,
believe in God or in...
I don't believe in that God. I don't believe in like the Abrahamic versions of God. But you know, do I subscribe to like a divine essence, spirit? Yeah, of course, yeah. But I was just not of that same religion, and it became a problem for her, not for me, because I was just like, listen,
I'm rolling.
You can pray to whoever you want. Like you can pray to your God and blah, blah, blah.
Understanding of
do what you're doing, but it was a thing on her side where, but you're not doing it. You're not doing it, and I'm like, because it's not my thing. Yeah. And it was like, that's when I realized, hang on a minute, this is going to be a problem. Do you know what I mean? Because I was down with her.
Yeah. So do you think the problem was then maybe their expectation? So of course it wasn't so much that it wasn't discussed and you both didn't know about each other. You were well aware of the fact that she was Christian. Yeah. But then the problem was because the expectation changed. So now as the relationship progressed, her expectation was, well, now that we're in a stronger relationship, the expectation is now that you're now going to come over to my religion and fully immerse yourself in it.
I mean, which is a silly thing to think, because if I get with someone and someone is who they are, for me to think, okay, I can, if I'm thinking, you know, someone down the road, I'm gonna change that. It's like, it's a little bit sinister. It's like, what are you trying to do? Like, are you accepting the person or are you not accepting the person?
I don't know, this may sound like, it may sound wild, but let's say I was single and I met the man of my dreams, and all I had to do was go and have two words with the imam and say I'm a Muslim, I'll do it. Like,
but you wouldn't believe though.
No.
You'd just be lying.
But this is where culture and religion has a fine line, because I know loads of people that are cultural Muslims. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So by default of coming from a Muslim country, their parents, they don't practice, but if you ask them, they'll say they're Muslim.
Yeah.
So for me to get the man, the honey of my dreams, if you want me to go and chat to your imam, man will do
would
that.
You wear? But then would you don like a hijab?
No, I'm not doing any of that.
See?
I'm not
that might be one of the requirements, though.
That's when I'll have to say see you later. But
then is that person the man of your dreams then?
Right, good question.
But then I think the biggest thing for me is because I was with my mum's from Pakistan, but she's not culturally Pakistani like that or religious. But his family were. And quite early on, we spoke about marriage, so on and so forth. And I was like, you need to go and tell your parents that I'm half black. And he was just like, I'll do it. And I could see
you were with a Pakistani man?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying? Okay.
And I could see every time we spoke about it, he panicked. And I kept on, I was like, no, this is something. They don't like black people.
They're not rating you, mate.
They're not, yeah. So I said to him, have you done it yet? And then he was silent, and he was just like, they're never going to accept you. And I was like, on one side, I don't want to say respected it, but I understood it, because certain cultures, they want to keep things like the bloodline strong, the religion strong. They know if we have children, I'm not raising them by the standards of Islam that they want, or the Pakistani cultural way that they want. So I can't knock them for that. But at the same time, can I really go to their house knowing you don't like half of me? And we're doing this whole pretense for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
Forget it.
That's
I said it's done. There's no point.
That's not
Do you
worth
know what I mean? And sometimes, even when my mum and dad got married, and my gran didn't speak to my mum for 5 years for marrying a black man, sometimes I think it wasn't just about race, it was also about class. Because my gran married a Pakistani man, but she didn't have an issue with him being from Pakistan because he was a pilot. So he was in the upper echelons of society.
The elite Pakistani.
But then my dad being black, but didn't go to university, wasn't a homeowner, all of these things that would determine whether you're middle class.
Didn't tick enough of the boxes.
My dad didn't tick those boxes. So not only is he black,
but he's of a lower class.
He's of a lower class or working class.
Yeah.
Are you taking the piss?
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, you may be okay with those things.
So are you like that now, though?
What?
Yeah, are you classist now, though?
I'm not a classist. But it's important for me that someone wants to be the best person they can be. And to me, that often is, whether that be a good career, if not uni educated, very well self-read.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Well travelled or willing to be. My thing is not about who you are, it's about, can I tell that you're willing to be those things or want to be those things or learn about those things?
Right, if the opportunity
not to
presents
change
itself.
who you are.
Yeah.
But I believe in social mobility.
But then doesn't that go back down
So then you wouldn't marry then? So then you wouldn't marry, like I said before, the guy that just works at the checkout at Asda?
No.
Even if he portrayed all of the qualities that you want in a man.
But he doesn't portray those qualities, because one of the main qualities I like in a man is massively ambitious. And I think if you're at the checkout with a massive quick plan, mate, I'm in my 30s, innit? I ain't got time for none of this, like what I would be okay with at 21. So unless you've got a super fast plan in the next year.
A get rich quick scheme, yeah?
Yeah. I can't see someone in their 30s, unless they're fallen on hard times, which anyone can, that you're happy. If I met a guy and he's like, I work on a checkout and I'm happy to work on a checkout, and I've been working on a checkout for 10 years.
There's no ambition. You're saying there's no ambition.
Let me try and flesh this out a bit, ladies, yeah? Because, so you're saying now, because if you go back to the divorce rate, you were saying that people divorce because of like financial problems, stuff like that. Cultural problems.
Yeah.
So say for instance, you were married to a man, and when you both met, you were both financially stable. He loses his job or loses his business, and he's now not as financially stable as he was. Can you see yourself?
I'm glad you said that.
Can you see yourself filing for divorce because of that?
No, can I tell you why I'm glad that he said that? Because there's this habit going around on Instagram, on social media. I want a guy that's like doing this. I want him to spend this on me. I want him to give me this lifestyle. I want that. I want that. And when I hear those women say those things, babes, you don't have experience. Because as soon as a man can be up here financially, he can go right back down. So this whole, I want a man to do X, Y, Z, you need to also find a man that can make you feel alive when he's broke, because he could get broke, and if he becomes broke, what are you going to keep on going to the next man with money? And if he goes broke, the next man, and then you've got to,
which is basically prostitution.
You've got no substance as a woman. No, you don't.
It is basically prostitution. You're looking for the money to go on. You're looking for the money.